Hello my friends, family, esteemed colleagues. I was asked to make a video about eyesight, specifically focusing on floaters. Well, I'm not ophthalmologist, and maybe because of it, I understand eyes in a different way. Whenever we have a problem with eyesight of any kind, we go to specialist, ophthalmologist, expert on eyes. So they check the eyes and they give you the diagnosis, which basically is always coming to the same thing. So if you have red eyes, irritation, we are being looked at. Okay, do we have allergies? What is causing this? Occurring long-lasting problems we refer to as ocular rosacea. And many different things can be happening on the eyes. They will be just labeled and then specifically pointed to depending on the problem, what it is. So when floaters are in question, what is a floater? Where you are looking, all of a sudden you see some shape coming, and then you want to look at it and it goes away, and you go with your eye this way, it comes back, and they make floating. Now, many people starting the protocol, this increase of floaters may occur. Now, what could cause them? The eye is filled with kind of a gel. This gel is made from vitreous fibers, which is basically collagen, protein that is well hydrated. And when protein is well hydrated, it creates, when you make gelatin now, what is gelatin? It's protein in a water, it swells, and makes the water now semi-hard. So it kind of moves but retains its shape. Now this gelatin is basically inside of the eyeball, through which then light streams through. The same thing our eye lens is made. Okay, it's filled, it's a membrane filled with this vitreous liquid or vitreous fiber, well hydrated. Now, if it's well hydrated, you don't see the protein and nothing is happening there. Now, when the protein starts dehydrating, then the fibers start, the protein fibers are starting to be visible. Now, when this happens on the eye lens, well, we said you are having cataract, but it's then stationary there. To become visible, the dehydration has to be quite severe. Now, when you have a mild dehydration, but sufficient enough to show these fibers, well, they can cast shadow of the light that goes through, and this shadow is your floater. But floater could be also a dirt. When I met my wife, she wore permanent contact lenses. I think she was taking it up once a week and replacing them with clean one. When she started with cleansing protocol, all of a sudden she had to replace them every day because they got so filthy. Why? Because of the cleansing. So as the toxic stuff is coming out, well, the toxic stuff is coming out from somewhere. Well, it's coming from within the lens. but it may be also, and it definitely is also, in the gelatin vitreous liquid inside of the eye. And when this moves, this also can cast a shadow, which then you see as a floater. So during the detox, when the stuff starts moving around and being expulsed, well, you may have more of it until the dirt comes out and goes away. At the same time, there is no detox without hydration. So as you are hydrating, you are also hydrating the vitreous fiber. And then it becomes more transparent and shadows go away. We are being told that, you know, the typical stuff. You go to doctor, to your specialist, he looks at your eyes, and you say, well, I have these floaters and I don't see very well, and he checks your vision. Oh, yeah, well, you have myopia. Now, why do you have myopia? Well, because you cannot see. Okay, you have a hard time to focus. So they say, oh, well, myopia is when your eyeball is extended, so now the focus is not coming on proper place in retina, and the only way you can deal with it is now putting a focusing lens in front of your eye and adjust it to put the focus exactly in the back of the eye where it has to be, and when it's right there, then you have a clear vision. Well, you may not have had myopia before, and all of a sudden you have it. And once when you have it, you get the glasses, and then doctor says, well, it's going to get worse, and then you get the new glasses. And, well, what's causing it? Well, you're getting older. What do you expect? But then you can have hyperopia, the contrary. Now they say, well, the focusing actually is behind the focusing point. So the shape of the eyeball has changed. It became flatter. It's not round. It came like more dense. Why? Well, if you have a sac, and then on one end of the sac you have some reinforcement in way of eye, here you have the eye lens, and then you have the muscles that will control that will stretch or relax the eye lens. So it's stuff right on the front of the eye where your lens is. So if the pressure in the eye increases, it will start making the eye elongated. Because here it is tight, so the pressure, here it cannot elongate it in this way, it cannot stretch it this way, because this keeps it down. So it stretches in the back and makes it elongated. And of course you cannot focus well. On the other side, if the eye becomes dehydrated, now what happens? It shrinks, but again, front cannot shrink much because there's eye lens, muscles, whatever. So now it shrinks in the back and it actually gets contrary shape. So now you are focusing back. So it's basically problem of hydration. Another thing is with the lens. Same thing is happening. When a lens vitreous liquid is well hydrated and the membrane is well hydrated and muscles that control the lens are well hydrated, then everything works properly. So if you want to see something very close, the muscles relax and the lens clips together and makes it very concave, and you can see very close. Now, more dehydrated the membrane of the eye lens is and the vitreous tissue within the eye lens, now the less flexibility it will have. So now when you want to see something close and you relax the muscles, well, you don't have the same convex shape because it just doesn't clumped together like this. It can't. It does not have enough water. It's not plastic enough. So it resumes a little bit flatter shape, and it cannot focus. So you need to put glasses so you can compensate of the inability of the lens to become round enough. And since also the density of the gel and also problem with dehydrated membrane gets stronger, now even when muscle pull it to focus on distance, to make it flat, well, they cannot really flatten it enough. And you really cannot see. So you basically, your field of vision becomes more restricted. You can see people all of a sudden having newspaper further and further and further from their eyes, because here they cannot focus, but here they can. But later on, this is not enough. They have to, and then maybe they need a little longer hands so they can just read without glasses. And same on a distance. They see someone coming, but they have to wait until you hit the point where the lens could have been stretched, and now you become clear, and now they recognize you. It's all hydration. Has nothing to do with age, nothing to do with genetic problems. But then again, doctors don't know the truth because they have been indoctrinated, they have not been exposed to true science, and they end up being mechanics. So the expert, all it can do is just tell you what glasses to wear. Now sometimes, because what happens is you are getting dry, your eyes are getting dry. Also your capillaries are going to shrink, they get less flexible. Lymph has problem to penetrate through. So there is not going to be even enough plasma available. Then this plasma that comes is toxic, so the cells do not hydrate, they don't take it in, which keeps you further and further dehydrated with stronger problems. Whereas the allergy comes, where pollen comes, and then all of a sudden you cannot see, you get all inflamed because the eye surface the cells do not have enough plasma, not enough water to spare for washing off the foreign protein. So inflammation has to come to squeeze some water into the eye, so then I can then squeeze the water out and flush the protein out. So you get inflamed, you get red eyes, you start tearing, because that's all process of the flushing of the protein out. Now you can avoid all of this by having eye well hydrated in the first place, so it can do the flush by itself. Instead of taking these different medications, you can just take a little squirt bottle with water, and when you have this problem and you are allergic, then just squirt water and flush it, and allergy goes away. You don't need any medication. You don't need any special liquids. This is all baloney. Take a little bit of colloidal silver if you are afraid of some infection, and just spray it in, flush it, and everything is fine. No allergy of the eye anymore. But it's temporary. You always have to have this bottle. If you hydrate on a cellular level, then you don't have this problem anymore. The eye does its own thing, cleanses it out. So the things are always different. When the hydration of the eye is problematic, the body is trying to find the ways how it can overcome the problem. And it may start growing additional blood vessels from the corner of your eyes out to the bigger and bigger surface of the eye just to be able to hydrate it, because it cannot hydrate through capillaries which are basically constricted, dry, no hydration. This is why pressure of the eye changes. Either goes too high because there is no drainage, or just is getting too low because plasma is not coming. Same problem, dehydration of the ducts, dehydration on a capillary level. Has nothing to do with age or genetics. You can have children with the same problem. Of course, it usually takes more time for this to develop, but since we are living in such a toxic place, and mothers are eating toxic food, which then gets to growing fetus, so children are born now and they need right away lenses. My wife, first day in the school, they gave her a note to go to eye doctor. Could not see letters. So it's always the same thing. If you watch my videos, you will see that every time we are talking about any kind of a disease, we come to the same thing: toxicity and dehydration on a cellular level or on the extracellular level, which then increases the toxicity of the body because there is no detox. And this growing of the additional blood vessels, well, in Spanish they call it canosidad. I don't even know the term in English. And again, doctors say, well, it's dust coming, you know. Even vets tell us in the school, well, that's, you know, this is from a dust. And then to clean it, well, you are always damaging whenever you are physically cleaning something, and you are working against the body that is trying to help itself. You are preventing body's work, body's autopilot. Yeah, it makes it more difficult to see, but you're going to lose eyesight anyway if you do not hydrate. We are always being led astray, always, because we try to find solutions and we don't even know the culprit. So how can you find solution if you have no culprit? Impossible. So we are fishing, and basically whatever we are doing, we are compromising even more the body. Now we are wearing these fake sunglasses and big hats, protecting ourselves from sun, so this way we can protect our eyes, because science is telling us that our eyes are really not made for this environment, that we are created by extraterrestrials, because every animal can see normally, and now we actually need sun protection for our eyes. Nonsense. We need sun protection because we are toxic, dehydrated. Our body does not work right. And whenever it cleanses, it shows symptoms of, we call it disease. And we have to stop it because it's a disease. It's not a cleansing, it's a disease that has to be stopped. You have a burning sensation in the urine while urinating, and dark urine, oh, that's infection, antibiotic. Well, what about acidic detox? Well, doctors don't count on this because they never heard of such a thing. Nobody ever told them that that could be a possibility. And this is the actual cause, not bacteria. It's a whole different world out there, my friends. And we have to forget everything we have been told, everything, and start from scratch. new information, new truths, but here you can at least verify them. All you have to do is give it a shot. Hydrate. Learn how to hydrate. Use the protocol, self-healers protocol. Hydrate and see how your body reacts. People have basically the same symptoms, depending on the level of toxicity. You can be bundled as much as you want, you can have as dark glasses as you want. If you dehydrate, you will develop cataracts. Because there's nothing more than white protein fiber showing when it's dehydrated. UV doesn't dehydrate you. UV actually clicks in the cleansing. So if your skin is toxic, if it's hit by UV, you all of a sudden start expelling the toxic stuff and you get pleaks on your skin. And bigger pleaks you have, this is symptoms of bigger toxicity of your skin. Once when I have cleansed, now I can get burned, I don't get any pleaks. I get red skin, it even gets painful because it's swollen, it swells from the body's attempt to protect itself. But there is no toxins to be squeezed out of those cells, so no pleaks appear. It's all new information. I started wearing reading glasses when I was 47. Well, I wore them for less than 2 years. I recovered my eyesight through hydration and cleansing. Always remember, when you start with cleansing, you are dislodging all the toxins which body had to shove aside so it can function. Since it is not able to cleanse it, there is not enough plasma. As soon as you put plasma in the body, it starts dislodging all these toxins which are in the periphery, may even cause swelling or local retention of fluid. You can get puffy. Women usually have puffy faces because of protection that they were using. If you are slapping a lot of makeup, it's a toxic stuff. It dehydrates you more because body has to defend itself, loses water faster. If you are putting suntan lotions, it all soaks in, then later on you have all these stuff happening on your skin because body is detoxifying. It's getting rid of these toxins, but it needs to hydrate to do that. So yes, there is one protocol that will deal with just about all diseases known to man. And this protocol is called hydration. And as simple as it sounds, it is quite tricky, especially when you go to the cellular hydration. Because everything we know is wrong. And every time you take medicinal remedy, you are preventing your cellular hydration. And again, I'm bombarded with this advertisement about turmeric for youth, turmeric for healing, turmeric this, turmeric that, and turmeric is a poison that stops cellular hydration. So instead of rejuvenating you, it's making you older, it destroys your eyesight, same like a garlic, same like a ginger, same like cinnamon. Just mention any medicinal stuff. It does exactly the same thing. It destroys your life. If you are taking it for a long time, it's a great, could be great remedy to suppress a symptom. If you allow yourself to go that far, that you are in pain, then yeah, use medicinal remedy. But as soon as you feel better, ditch it. You should never use it longer than 1 week. Then ditch it and hydrate. Eyes are no different. Exactly same thing. They gave it million names for million diseases, eye problems, but it all comes to the same thing. Dehydration, toxicity. Hydrate, detoxify, you heal. Thank you for listening. If anything else interests you as far as health goes, let me know. I can make video about it if I know the answer. At least I'll give you my view on it. Thank you for being here. Love you all.